Welcome back, guys. So we're going to be continuing on this episode with the bodywork. Yes, sometimes it can get quite tedious and quite boring, but while I've got half a gut full of motivation, I'm going to get to it. Okay, so I'm just going to do, as I mentioned in the previous video, some bodywork here on the rear beaver. Just some tiny little dents that I've already bogged up, but it had a bit of damage, not on this side, this is the good side. Had a bit of damage on this side here. So tried to pop it out back in the day with washers and a welder and trying to pry it from the inside, but there's things in the way on the inside, so you can only get so much access before you can't do anything else. So it's all got to be done from the outside. So we're going to get the little easy beat out and try and yank those dents back out as much as we can so that we don't have to fill them with as much bog, I guess. Okay, let's get cracking. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. That's come out a long way. Really good. There's a couple of little pinholes. Truly, I'm not going to worry about them. I really aren't, because if I try and weld them over now, just those tiny little holes, I'll just keep blowing a hole and a hole and a hole, and I can't get nothing behind it. There's not enough area there to put anything behind it to help me out, so I'm just going to epoxy it, body fill it, and that is it. Okay, so after multiple coats, where we need to be, I'm really happy actually. The shape's really good. yeah, there wasn't much extra damage on this side other than that massive dent. But I mean, it looks like a lot of bog, but it actually isn't. I mean, you can see here the high spots where, you know, edges of metal are starting to come through. But yeah, really happy with how that turned out. And then there was a tiny little bit of damage here where the tow bar used to sit, because this car used to have a tow pack. And then, look, you know, don't go off what the bog's showing. There wasn't actually that much damage here, but I did create a second exhaust outlet there. So I mimicked the left-hand side, and I'm going twin pipes. So that's what that is. And yeah, so same sort of deal. There was no damage here, but shaped it all up just to make it a little bit cleaner. As you can see, the seam has been deleted, so I deleted the seam to make it all one piece. Just looks a little bit nicer, I think, a little bit neater. Once it's all painted, it'll look really, really neat. So that's all ready for epoxy. And then I thought, while I'm at it, the next stage is going to be working on these drip rails. So the roof's already done, working on the drip rails. So I thought, look, I'll strip. I had a little bit of pressure pack edge primer on there. I stripped all that back. There was no rust anywhere, which I'm really happy about. And I thought I'll put a fresh coat of epoxy on there, on both sides, on both of these drip rails. I'll do the C-pillar drip rail when I do the C-pillar, so I'll just leave that. So I'll put a fresh coat of epoxy on this as well, because that's going to be the next bit that I start on. And you know, instead of wasting epoxy, because it's sort of tricky to mix up. You mix it up, it's 4-to-1, and I always seem to mix up more than I need. But the only thing I can go off is the scales. So even the smallest amount really that you could sort of work off if you're going 4-to-1 would be the 100 mil, and then, you know, going between the 100 and 150 for your you know, one part, I guess. So I always end up, you know, if I'm doing little touch-ups like that, I always end up with a lot of epoxy that I feel like I'm throwing away. So if I can use it in other areas, then I'll do so. All right, let's get painting. So that's another bit done. I'm really happy. I'm moving along. I've got a little bit of motivation, a little bit of energy. I'm still on my break, obviously. I haven't gone back to work yet. But while I can and while I'm motivated, I want to get into it, you know. So I'm feeling good, you know, work's turning out, and yeah, I mean, that's not finished. That's obviously back into epoxy, so it seals up the body filler again. And then it'll need high fill on top of that, you know, to finalise at 110%. But that can stay like that for donkeys, you know. Now that it's got epoxy on it, it's sealed up, it's good to go. So yeah, so the drip rails will be next, and then the C-pillars, and just try and keep that ball rolling. Alright, for those of you that watched till the very end, I've got a little surprise for you. Some old footage of me drag racing at the old Eastern Creek Dragway back in the day. Have a look at this. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope I catch you on the next one. Catch ya.